What I'm wondering right now is what exactly do you have control of?
I am positive. I'm your host, Eric Brown, and with me, the original game changer, Mr. Mike J. Ones in the house.
So J1 spelled Jones, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, y'all. So I really wanted to share a positive thought of the day from our 365 because it is just such a powerful quote. So listen with the intent to be influenced. There is no reason, no excuse, no alibi, and no fate that can hinder an individual that is focused on a specific purpose. You are in control of the direction you are moving. Nothing outside of you chooses your path. To understand this is to accept personal responsibility for where you are in this present moment, the choices you have made, and the results those choices have produced. Establish your direction, your outcome, and make the choice to take action now. This sets you in motion, and the commitment and resolve that you demonstrate will keep you focused on your purpose. I am positive.
I am, yeah.
Man, that's some smoking hot shit.
It is. Eric, here's what we need to talk about today. I am going to submit that you are 100% in control of your journey. Now, I did not say that you are 100% in control of what happens today or what does not happen. I said, and I say again, and I absolutely ask that you listen with the intent to be influenced. You are 100% in control of your journey today. Now, what I mean by that in the context of this conversation is that I realize that there are going to be some strong winds that are going to blow up against you today. They may come from your significant other. They may come from your employees or your team members. They may come from circumstances that occur from other members of your family or friends. There are going to be, in some cases, some hurricane force winds, some circumstances that are going to occur along your journey today. Those things are not going to determine where you ultimately end up at the end of the day. And I know that some of y'all out there that are watching this podcast are going through some stuff in your life. Whatever you are going through is not going to determine how you are or where you end up on this journey. I submit that one of the greatest gifts that you have, that I have, one of the greatest gifts that we possess is the gift of choice. Those circumstances do not make choices for us. Your significant other will not make those choices for you. Your children or your team members at work will not make those choices for you. Some circumstance that happens to you through the environment or through the economic system are not making those choices for you. Ultimately, they are things that are happening to you, but they are not necessarily going to be what happens because of you. The because of you is going to be based on the choice that you make in relation to the things that are occurring.
So, Mike, I've heard you say there's 86,400 seconds in every day. And when one of those tough circumstances punches you right in the face, what do you do to not be negative in that second?
And Eric, I say this to people that I coach all the time. Sometimes you have experienced a bad 5 minutes in your day and you milk it all day long and you call it a bad day. Now, that was not a bad day because of the 5 minutes that you experienced. It is a bad day because of your choice to remain connected to it and not let it go and allow it to spoil the rest of your day. That was literally the choice that you made. It was a bad 5 minutes. So deal with what happened and absolutely move forward to the next moment. It does not have to be a defining moment for you by allowing that bad 5 minutes to turn into a bad day.
Okay, but if I have, let's say, a hurricane force wind that's a circumstance in my personal or my professional life, I mean, who is truly in control?
I'm going to submit that you are in control. Those hurricane force winds, those circumstances that can occur in our life could blow us somewhat off course. But when we take the time to refocus on where we're going, on our outcome, we may be blown off course a little bit. However, we can make corrections to allow ourselves to get back on course and back on outcome.
Okay, got it. And you talk a lot in that thought of the day about personal responsibility. And I know I would submit that accountability and personal responsibility are the same. Do you agree?
I absolutely do not agree with that. I am going to submit that when you accept personal responsibility to stay on course, to get back on course when things knock you off course, to absolutely be in control of the journey that you are on, and you hold yourself accountable to be personally responsible, you will find that they are two completely different things. Personal responsibility is an absolute gift that you can offer to yourself that is going to allow you to play this game differently, that is going to allow you to stay on course, focus on your outcome, and be absolutely willing to do whatever it takes to keep breaking through whatever circumstances that are occurring in your life to get to that outcome.
Yeah, Mike, though, I've been focused on an outcome before, and I've executed 100% on my end, but others who were involved in the process, they missed. So wouldn't that be going to hold them accountable for the miss since we didn't achieve the shared outcome?
Well, see, Eric, I mean, it's such a different conversation, Eric. There's so many different elements that go into that as it relates to whether or not I'm managing my expectation of these people or if I'm managing a promise. So that really goes off into a lot of whole other things. As long as I am 100% personal responsible for the things that I have 100% control over, ultimately, that is the only thing that I can hold myself 100% accountable for.
Okay, so if I don't reach the outcome, I'm not looking outside of myself then.
Absolutely not. In fact, the only question, game changer, that I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what other people are bringing to the party, the only question that I, as a game changer, will ask myself, what am I committed to do to have this turn out the way that I want it to turn out? If there are other people involved in this, how can I change my approach? What am I committed to do to change my approach, to change my results? And I'm going to continually change those approaches until I get to the results that I want.
So what would you say to somebody who made a bad choice that didn't lead them towards the outcome? What would be your coaching on that?
I would say every time you fall down, get up as quickly as you can and move forward. You're going to make some bad choices, and most of those bad choices are going to occur when you're not focused on the outcome. When you are focused on the outcome, quite often, at the very least, you're going to hit the target. It may not be a bullseye, but you're going to be on the target. And whatever corrections that you make from that point will allow you to ultimately get to the bullseye. However, as soon as you get off of the outcome, you start becoming fear-based, or you're focused on survival, or you're caring what other people are thinking about you, there's a very likelihood that you're going to completely miss the target.
Oh, so I am in control. I am responsible for my outcomes. Absolutely heard it here first, y'all. You did.
Yeah, and when you get to that point that you are able to admit that to yourself, as Eric just did, then you're going to know that the possibility of you succeeding increases to another whole level. My coaching to you today, baby, is to get out on that edge. Because unless you are out on that edge, you are taking up far too much room.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.